What are you doing?
Ryan needs this. No, I don't.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he will.
Never asked you to do that.
I'm recreating the scene from Logan. Charles, it hurts!
You don't have claws.
Stark's gonna put him in post. It's gonna look really sweet. All right, Stark. Come on, Stark, please. Please, Stark. Don't do this to me, man. It's gonna be really stupid if you don't.
It looks stupid now.
It really does. Fine! God!
Welcome to Film Riot, the show that takes Mr. out of the effects techniques. Going to some of your favorite Hollywood films. I'm your host, Ryan Conley, and we've done an effect from Logan already, but there was one more that I wanted to tackle, and that's the effect that they gave to the image when Charles Xavier loses control of his power. This effect is actually incredibly easy, and we pulled it off in the exact same way that they did, which the original shot just looked like this. I shot it by throwing my camera on the easy rig and then shook the crap out of it while rolling on the scene. It took a few tests to get the level of shake and shutter speed that I liked most, which was this small erratic shake and the shutter at 100. Now you don't need the easy rig for this, you can just go fully handheld with it. It was just much easier to dial in exactly what I was trying to do when I got that full weight out of my hands, but again, you could just go fully handheld. I also shot this at 4K and over frame because I knew that I wanted my framing to be like this, but shot it like this so we could stabilize and end up in a 1080 project with little resolution loss. So once we had our footage, we jumped into After Effects, and the first and main thing that we did for this effect was to stabilize our footage. To do this, we just used Warp Stabilizer right inside of After Effects, and we really just wanted position, rotation, and scale. So we set our settings to Result, No Motion, Method, Position, Rotation, Scale, and Framing set to Stabilize only. We then hit Analyze and let it do its thing.
Action.
Wait, was that good?
Next, we keyframe our position of the layer manually to keep Josh centered, keeping in mind that it's okay if the edges show right now because this is still our 4K pre-comp and we will be moving into a 1080 project. Finally, for in here, we're gonna turn on motion blur, which just gave us some extra moments of blur mixed in with those sharp moments that made the original Logan shot really work.
Stark said it would be pretty good.
Next, we make a new composition that's 1080p and drop in our 4K pre-comp. From here, all you have to do is position and scale it to the framing that you want. You'll also have to keyframe the position so that the edges don't show once you shrink it down, and now we have this. It's an insanely simple effect, which again, you don't need all the extra bells and whistles that we use to pull something similar off. The idea here is just to shake the crap out of your camera and then stabilize that footage back so that you can get these crazy side effects to the image that will give it a really interesting and trippy look. So even if you're shooting with your iPhone, there's no reason you can't pull off the same idea. This is just the method that we found that worked best for us. Also, definitely check out the article from fxguide that goes into detail on how the filmmakers pulled off their shot for Logan, which we found helpful while trying to recreate it. So check the notes for a link to that. If you're a budding filmmaker, entrepreneur, innovator, domain.com is the place to go when the next idea hits you. I know, I thought I was trying to add some funkiness to it, you know?
Don't do that
Okay, okay. When buying a domain name from domain.com, you're taking the first steps in creating an identity or vision for your brand or idea. Just a little funk. Just a little funk, not a ton. The world's top 2 premier most recognized domain name extensions are .com and .net, which means those are the ones that are going to help you build your brand and expand your presence online the best. And for a limited time from now until August 31st, you can get 35% off by using the coupon code FILMJUMBO when you get domain names, web hosting, and email. Just use that at domain.com's checkout. And when you think domain names, think domain.com.
Still no to that, but that one was a little better than the last one.
Really?
Yeah.
Right on.
Logo.
After pulling that effect off, I wonder how we could do the same thing with no post work at all. Could we do something similar, just all in camera? So I went out and bought a back massager. Once I felt nice and relaxed, I grabbed my iPhone and filmed a subject while putting the massager up against the phone. Since we're getting such tight and fast vibrations, it ended up giving me this really interesting effect to my image. And this would change depending on how I held it to the phone, if I held it completely on or in different spots, or if I would move it on and off. There were a lot of great looks that I got by experimenting with it in different ways. This would definitely be an interesting way to do a flashback or a drug trip, crazy visuals for a music video, and so on. I also tried this out with the C300 and C100, but didn't really do very much, but it did give some interesting looks with the A7S. Since you have a lot of that rolling shutter from that camera, I got this wobbly sort of effect, which is similar to the idea of the Logan effect. But by far, my favorite with this trick comes from the iPhone. I really dig the style of what I'm getting from that. Of course, do this at your own risk and be very cautious about getting it close to your lens and lens mount. You don't want to damage your gear over it.
Camera speeds.
I'm gonna waste my drink.
And the final sort of look is this one, and this one. It's a style that I stole from Guy Ritchie's Rock and Rolla. I'm not sure if he's the first to use it, but it's where I first saw it. To do this effect, we just shot our character running and walking, then we stabilized the shot to their face, making the face the center point, so their face stays dead center in the shot throughout the entire thing, causing the world around them to bounce about unnaturally. It can be subtle or extreme, but always has a very off-putting and interesting effect. Another crazy easy one to try out too.
It's pretty sweet.
So there you go, a few simple ideas for interesting visual tricks, and if you have any, feel free to share them in the comments below. And of course, if you dug the episode, feel free to like, favorite, and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure you hit that bell button below so you can be notified when we put up new goodies. And I'll see you next week when I hide a weird root baby under my mom's bed.
Oh. I think she froze in time.
I did a little bit.
I got no reaction from my end. Did it scare her? What'd she do?
Dang it.
Can you break your vocal cord? I think I might have.